Hello guys, in this video I'll be making the animation you just saw. For this project I'll be using an add-on Gscatter. I'll be using the free version and you can use the free version as well. There's a pro version. However, the things we'll be using in this video, the free version will be sufficient. So yeah, let's get straight into Blender. Alright, now in this project I'll be using 3 different assets. I won't be showing you how to get these assets from the websites I got them from. I assume as an intermediate you already know how to download assets and apply the textures, so I won't be doing that in this video. I'll just go directly to show you the process of how to make this animation. So I'm going to be using the rock asset. This I got from Gscatter, and then I'm going to be using this product, this bottle I modeled a while ago for a client. I'll be sharing it in my Gumroad if you want to download it and use it. But if you have any other product or model that you want to use, that's fine. And then I'll be using these leaves I also got from Gscatter. So these are the 3 assets that I'll be using. So let's just go straight to the animation workspace to start with the animation. Make it the way that I like it. I'm going to make some adjustments here, and then the first thing I'll be adding is a camera. I'm going to add a camera to get the right view for my let me name this collection camera. So now I'm going to add a camera. Shift A, add, go to camera, add a camera, then GY, select the camera here, and then I'm going to make sure the location is looking at this point at the product. So I'm just going to zero all the location, and then on x-axis I'm going to give it a rotation of 90, and the focal length for the camera I'll be using 95, my favorite focal length. I don't know why I like it, just gives more of a wider view. And then for the resolution, I'm going to be posting this probably on Instagram, YouTube Shorts, or any of those platforms that give avenue for short form content. So the resolution has to fit the criteria. Usually the standard resolution is the one for Instagram reel that I'll be using. So here I think it will be 1350, and then let me keep this, let me view this here. And then for now this part I'm going to keep it at 1920. Is this what we have? Okay, so this has to be 1080, the top one. I was mixing it up. Then on the Y I'm going to keep it 1350. So now we have this sort of view. The passepartout, I'm going to reduce or increase the passepartout to, let's say, 0.95, because I don't want the other edge of the view to be very much visible. So I'm going to go to home view to view it at my home. Then I'm going to set my camera to a more preferable view of the product. But before I do, let me add a plane. So I'm going to name this plane ground. This is where we'll be having our grass scattered on. So I'm going to create a plane now. Plane. Give this, like, let's say S5, scale of 5. I think is decent. It's okay. And then now I can move the camera upwards or downwards. Make sure it isn't above the plane. I don't know if I'm going to increase this plane, maybe something I'll do later, but for now I'm just going to keep it at this. And for the camera I'm going to shift it on. I won't be rotating it like this. This is something I can do, or you can do if you want, but it seems preferable to just shift it on the y-axis. So that shift it like this. So you see that the camera is not shifting, but the lens, I guess, is what is shifting. So I'm going to move this up. So we have it at this view. I prefer this view. And now I'm going to start with my animation. For this, I'm going to have it sitting on the rock. this bottle, I'm going to have it sitting directly on the rock. So something like this. Let's zoom to see what we have. I'm going to move it up a bit to this part. All right, it's too much. Let's say something like this. It's okay. So we won't be seeing it really clearly. Anyways, so so now I think I'll just start by creating the animation of the bottle. So at frame 100, I'm going to have it at frame 100 for now. I might change it, I might make it longer, but for now I'm just going to have it at frame 100. So at frame 100, I'm going to select the empty, and then the empty is what we are going to be animating, and then on location rotation I'll add one keyframe, like this. Then I'll go to the frame 1 again, and then I'll move this up. Make sure it's out of the camera view. So I'm going to move this so you see this is out of the camera view, and I'm going to give it an interesting rotation. So maybe something like this, or double R. Click R twice on your key numpad to, like, I don't know, give it this rotation, and then and rotation location. Oh, sorry, let me go to my viewport display to know that I have the. All right, so I just want this product name to show. So now it's showing, and yeah, I want it to show when it lands. So now let's play the animation and see what we have. This is the first animation that we've created, something simple. So let's play it. Yep. So it just jumps into the frame like this. It is nice. And I think for now the animation is okay. So the next step to do, all right, I'm going to start with the scattering. I'm going to start with the scattering. So now to scatter some plants on this surface, I will need to use the Gscatter add-on, which I downloaded from their website. At the time of recording this video, I don't think there's support for 4.0. So right now I'm using Blender 3.5. So you have to download the add-on. If you are downloading the add-on, make sure it fits the Blender version you are using. Let me see if I can pull the website to your screen. All right, so this is the website that I downloaded the add-on from. So you just go here, download for free. They're probably going to ask you to, okay, they're probably going to ask you to sign up to their website. So I've already signed up. So you go to the version you want to download. I downloaded this version. It wasn't really much stable, so I had to download this version. This was a stable version. So I don't know what is going to work for you. Just try it out. You might have errors. If you have a little bit of error, just come back here and download the right version for you. So now let's go back to Blender. So I'm going to click on N. When you click on N, after downloading the version, obviously you're going to have to install it. You go to your add-ons, install, and you just tick it. You just have to install it from whichever folder you saved it. I said I wasn't going to make a video on how to install add-on, but here we are. So now you open the items menu by clicking on N. So on here you see Gscatter. That's a new menu has opened. So you click on Gscatter, and then you can start using it. But before anything, when you click on here, so when you click on libraries, you see a bunch of assets, some plants that you can use in your scene. But you cannot, probably the first time you download your add-on, you won't see them. So you have to download them by yourself. So when you come here, you see the assets. So you have to download them into Blender. I think this is all you need. Um, you can download any of these. You can download the assets from here. You see more than the ones you are seeing on my own in your site. And then once you've downloaded the plans that you want, so you just come here on this place, and then you select which of the leaves you want to download. But before I add an asset, I forgot to do one thing. I want to make this look more like a ground, so I'm going to give it an imbalance. I'm going to make it a little bit bumpy. So I'm going to add the modifier, the displace modifier. But before I add the display modifier, but before the display modifier has an effect, I need to add the subdivision. I need to subdivide it. So I'm just going to select subdivide, and then I'm going to give it a subdivision of 100. You can give less, maybe if you worry about your um, um, computer capability. So now I'm going to scale this just to make sure we don't have any weird artifact after the installing applying our modifier or using our modifier. So I'm going to click on displays, new, and come here, select here to jump to the modifier properties, and then I'm going to keep the type at clouds. Now you have this. I'm going to make it a little a bit bigger, or let's see. Yeah, I'm going to make the size a bit bigger. Let's say 1. You know what? Let's increase the size of this to somewhere like this, I think, and then just scale this, and then I think this is about right, I guess. But the bumps are just way too much. So I'm going back here to the properties, and then I'm going to give this 0.1. Let's try 0.5. Let's try 0.3. I'm just going to keep it at 0.3. So now we don't necessarily have to use a displace modifier, but to add more realism to my scene, I thought of just doing that. I don't know. Maybe it's a waste of time. Maybe it adds something to the scene. I don't know for you. Whatever works. So now here I'm coming to environment and then start adding in my plant. So I'll be selecting which plants I'm going to be using. So this yellow oat grass big, I'm going to select it. So just select yellow oat grass big. So it's going to ask you to scatter selected, or so when you click on scatter selected, let's click on scatter selected and see what we have. So I'm going to click on OK. Wow, what did I just do? Okay, so sorry, add to scene. Successfully added to scene. Sorry, I made a mistake. I should have done this. So now when you click on here, it's going to ask you to select the emitter. So our emitter is the plane. That is where you are going to scatter your grass. So you select the emitter, and then come in. Let me name you can either use the dropper, but the eye drop. So you can just come here and then select the eye drop. Well, it's not selecting. Well, if it's not selecting, it should be selecting, but I don't know why. You just come to, I have to name my plane. So let me click on OK for now. So for my plane, I'm going to name this ground. And then I'll go back here and then select ground as the emitter. And then it asks you to, when you add to scene, let's add to scene and see what happens. Okay, so when you add to scene, it asks only like just a bunch of grass, only like few. Let me show you. So just the grasses, it doesn't scatter them for you, just adds them to the scene directly. But when you use the scatter selected, so I'm going to select this, and then I'm going to select the yellow oat grass. So I'm going to click on scatter selected, and then oh dear, it scatters the grasses on your plane. You see, nice. So now you can make changes to this, maybe the scale, is just way too much, or it's just the grasses are just way too big for the scene, you can decrease the scale. So when you come here, you see this distribution right here. So here you can play with the amount. So when you want to reduce the scale, maybe you can reduce the scale to, let's say, I don't know, 0.3, and then you see it gets smaller. And then when you go to distribution, you can see the density. You can increase how dense the grass is. That's like the amount of grasses you want to have. So I can have this at 100. So now you see that our scene is a little bit dense, also a little bit slow, or let's say a lot slower. I don't think my laptop can take this. So yeah, this is the issue you're going to have. It's going to keep hooking if you don't have if your computer is not a beast. So I'm going to reduce the dense to, let's say, 50. And see what 50 seems also to, okay, let's keep this at 5 for now. Let's keep it at 5. Oh dear, I shouldn't have taken the choice of having it at 50. Oh dear, it keeps getting worse. Oh, I want to cry right now. I feel like crying. Okay, I had to bring it back to the density of 1. My computer had hooked. I couldn't do anything, but now we are back. So if you're having that type of issue, maybe you have it at 10 and then your computer gets a bit slow, you can easily come here to this little icon with X in it. You just select and it turns your mesh to whatever this is, these things. They're just like a holdout for the mesh, so that whenever maybe you can even, let's try increasing this to 50. So you see now it doesn't slow the system. So let's take this to 100 even. So now you see we are not having that issue we had the other time. It's not going to show on the camera preview, however, on your viewport, but it really doesn't matter. When we are done making sure we have the grass to how we want it, then you can come here if you want to render and increase everything and just let it as it is. When you render it, it's going to show us the grass. So now I'm going to take it to 1. I'm going to take it back to, okay, I'm going to take it to, let's say, 10 to just increase it. And for the scale, so let me bring this back again. The scale is too much, so I'm going to reduce the scale. On this mean here, I'm going to put it at 0.5 for now. Let's keep it at 0.5 for now. So now I'm going to add another grass. This time I'll be adding this yellow out grass. This seems to be have the same name, but I think they are different. I'm just going to skip it for now, and then I'm going to come here, yellow out grass small, yellow out grass small. So I'm going to select and then scatter, and then I'm going to click on OK. So now you see we have the small oat grass as well, but they are not so small here. So I'm going to come to scale again, and then I'm going to have this at point, I don't know, 0.7 to reduce the scale a little bit. Then I'm going to add Control Z. I'm going to add grass or more grass. Come here and I'll select from here. I like this garlic mustard big, so I'm going to select it as well, and then scatter. Okay, so my computer is getting a little bit slower, so I'm going to just enable these options to optimize my scene. So now we have this. I'm going to have this at the density of, I don't know, 10. Also this density of 50, density of 50. So now you can see that our scene is getting a little bit dense. I'm also going to add one more. Sorry, Control Z. Why do I keep saying this? I'm going to add one more grass to have a little bit of variation in our scene. So I'm going to add this lamb quarter small. So select it and then scatter. Click on OK. So now we have it's not really visible. Let me go ahead and turn this off. So we have this here. This seems to be a bit smaller. Let's increase the density to maybe the 10. Let's try 50. 50. It's a lot better. And then I'm going to increase the scale to, like, I don't know, 2. 2 seems a bit much, so 1.5. This looks better. I haven't saved this. Let's just name it product anim grass. All right, so now I'm going to enable all of this. This is what we have for now. And okay, so now on this you can see so many options. You can play around with the distribution, you can play around with the seed to just change the where the grasses are being placed. If you don't like them, you can just try this rotation, geometry. What I'm interested in now is adding layers. So when you come here, you can add effect layer. So there are so many things you can do with the add effect layer. So I'm going to select on this yellow grass, and then let me add a layer. So add effect layer. I'm going to select so when you select proxy, you'll see that okay, let me off everything so that you can clearly see it. So when I select proxy, you see that it's aware of this rock. Let me so turn off this proxy. You see that the grasses are actually intersecting with the rock. But when I turn it on, when I turn the proxy on, you can see that they are now a little bit far away from this rock, and I can play with it a little bit, maybe make it a little bit closer, somewhere like this, and even drag it all the way. So let me have it right here. So I'm going to add this proximity to all the other grasses. So come here, add effect, proximity, add effect, proximity, come here as well, add effect, proximity. And then I'm also going to add another layer effect, and it's going to be the Voronoi texture. So when I apply the Voronoi texture, you see that the grasses creates like a pattern where, like, some parts of the in some parts of the ground, you see that the grass are more dominant, and in some parts you see that it seems like there's no much grass. So when I can also play around with the scroller and see what's happening. So the more I bring this close, the more closer they come to each other, and the more I shift this, the more apart they are from each other, and they create this pattern. And I'm going to add all this, since like in real life, similar grass grow closely to each other. Similar species of grass grow in a particular area. So I'm going to do this to all the other grasses. So I'm going to here, add effect layer Voronoi, come here, add effect layer Voronoi, come here, add effect layer Voronoi. So now we have this. So you can see all the reds in one side, which the reds are representing the lamb's grass, and you can see the garlic are also um, on their own side. So you can also play with this if you want. I'm just going to keep it separate from each other. So now this is what we have. Um, for the ground is textureless. It's white. When I come to here, you can see that this ground is textureless, is white, and even though we are going to have our grass on top of it, we can add it. We can even make it a bit more realistic by adding a ground texture to cover up some of the sites that might not have grass. So I'm going to add the texture. So I come to here, shader editor. You can download a ground texture from a lot of websites. I downloaded mine from Quizzle Megascan. So now I'm going to go to the place I downloaded the ground texture. So let's come here. What did I even name it as? Grass surface. I think, yeah, grass surface. So I'm going to select everything, deselect this, and then I'm going to have it in Blender. And so you see what we have. This looks a little big. So I'm going to decrease the size by making this 3, and make sure we don't have a lot of texture tiling. So I guess this is quite all right. Looks more like a forest ground. So I'm going to save our progress and then go back to the animation go back to the timeline. So now this is the most interesting part of our animation. So I'm going to select the rock. So what I want to add is grasses growing on the rock as this object drops. So as this object is dropping, grasses are growing. So it's like this product, it's giving life to this rock. That's what I want to interpret with this animation. So now these are the grasses. Remember these grasses I talked about. I also got them from Quizzle Megascan. Why do I keep saying Quizzle Megascan as if they sponsor me? But however, if anyone from Quizzle Megascan is watching, you should go to my inbox and let's have a chat. Guys. Yeah, I will need a sponsorship. All right. So now, these grasses, all of these 5 of there are about 7, I think. I'm going to add them to this surface, and they are going to grow. I won't be using the Gscatter because I'm not sure you can make animation with it. I haven't tried play with it. And hey, you can also try different technique of adding grass to your mesh. So for this, I'll be using the particle system to create the animation. You can also use geometry node, but I'm not very good with geometry node, so I'll be using the particle system. So I'm going to select this and then slide this up and then come here on the particle system. I'm going to add particle and I'm going to have it at hair. Hair is what we want, not emitter. So for the particles, I'll come to render, and then on this path, I'm going to have this on collection. So in the instance collection, I'm going to select which collection. So I'm going to select crest, and you see all these grasses, they are now on this rock surface. So now this is what we have, though the grasses are not as much as I would want them to be. So you can come here and increase the number of grasses. I'm going to click on 5, 1, 2, 3. I think 5,000 does it. So what do you think about the scale? I think the scale is okay. So however, I'm going to come here for the scale. I'm going to increase scale randomize, just have them at random scale, so that the scale will not be equal. It gives it a bit of realism. So now I'm going to add animation to this, to the growth. So I'm just going to play with the scale. That's literally the animation. Just play with the scale. See, really simple, not too difficult. Even a beginner can do it. So now I'll come to the point where so maybe at 90, not immediately when it lands. I'm going to come to 90. So now on frame 90, I will play with the not I will play with the size. So not hair length, not hair length. If you try, I've tried hair length, but I just can't animate. I just can't animate hair length. I don't know why it was refusing to animate. But for the scale, it seems like I could animate it, so I animated the scale. So this is point 050 or 0.050 if you want to be correct in math term. So now on this 0.050, I'm going to have it at 0, enter, and then add a keyframe, this, and then I'm going to shift it to maybe to 150, and then on this frame I'm going to have it at 0.050, and then I'm going to add a keyframe. So let's see. So now you see it lands and then it grows. Let's play the animation and see what we have. This is basically it. This is basically the animation that was looking so fascinating. Though I'm going to move this backwards a bit to, I'd say, I don't know, 70. So let's play the animation and see what we have. So now you see what's happening. Yeah, so this is the animation. Then I'm going to Control S, and then now I'm going to animate these grasses. So N, go to this view. I'm going to animate these other grasses here to make it seem like the wind is blowing. And it's also very basic with Gscatter. You don't have to add a force field and then direct the force field to the grass. No, you don't have to do all that stress. So you come here on the rotation and also add an effect layer. So I'm going to select the grass that I want to add the effect layer to, and then I maybe select rotation. Remember to select rotation. If you select distribution, you won't see the settings here. So it has to be rotation. So when you select rotation here, and then you come to add effect, and you'll see wind, and then you add wind. And then when you play the animation, you see they are moving. This is the preview. If I scared of taking it to the grass, but let's see. Let's take it to the grass. Oh dear. All right, so let me hide all these other grasses, and then on the distribution, let's scroll down. On the density, I'm going to have this at 1 for now, just to show, or let's say 10, just to show what what's happening. So now you can see when you play the animation, you can see the grass is like some kind of a motion, like the wind is blowing. However, let's take this to this view. I don't really like to see this. I think it's too fast. The strength is too strong. So let's come back to the layer, rotation, to the layer we've added. So on the speed, you can see it's 10. I'm going to have this at 5. And the strength, I'm going to have it as 10. So let's play and see what we have. So now you can see the motion of the grass is a bit subtle. Let's try 30 and see what we have. Okay, so detail, you can also increase the detail and see. So now you can see the grass is a bit flexible, though it's fast. So let's try 10. We're just going to be playing with these settings till you get the right amount of values you want for your grass. So I'm going to do similar things for all these other grasses. So I'm going here, add layer, wind, add layer, add layer, wind, add layer, wind. So now on this layer, I'm going to look at the settings I have here. These are the settings, so I'm going to apply these settings also. Let's see if I can copy settings. Copy data path. I really can't copy settings. You know what, it doesn't matter. So let's see. Nope, seems like I can't copy settings. Okay, so I'm going to have to come here and just make sure I have them. So here it's the strength is 5, and the detail also 5. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and the strength is 10 here. So I'm going to also do the same for here, 5, 10, 5. And then I'm coming here, then 5, 10, also 5. Right. So now we have our animation. Let me increase the number back to, was it 50? I had it at, sorry, not the strength, the distribution, the density. Density, I'm going to have this at, let's see, 100. Yeah, 100 seems about right. Also, the density, 100. Here also the density 50. This is going to take a lot of render time, but it doesn't matter. We want to have the best result that we could, or that we can, whichever English is correct. So now that you've created the animation for your scene, what we need to do is to add, what we need to do now is to make sure we have the right lighting. So what we are doing now, the next stage of this animation is lighting. This should not be moving the same. Is this some kind of error? Why? Did I touch anything? Was it me? Anyways, so now let's do lighting. So I'm going to move this upwards. This shouldn't be happening. I don't know why. And it bothers me. You know what? Let me just join this for now, since we are not going to play with the animation for now. Let me take this back to this view, and then start with our lighting. So now the first thing I'll do is I'll take this to circles. Circles has better lighting. If you want to use EV, you can use EV, but I'm using circles for this. For the lighting, I'll be using cycles. So I go to GPU compute, film, not film, color management, have it at high contrast. So now I will go to the world settings, and then for the color, I'm going to have it at, I'm going to be using sky texture, leave it at Neshita. So now you can see what we have. Okay, so the first problem we are seeing right off the bat is that this rock, I don't want this edge. It seems like it's just standing on gravity. So I'm going to move this plane a little bit up a bit to somewhere like this, where it's covering it. Also, I can change the rotation if I want to, maybe 180. Now I'm going to leave it like this. So now, with the sky texture, you can increase the size of the sun or decrease the size of the sun. So what happens when you decrease the size of the sun is that the shadow becomes a bit more softer than when you increase it. So let's say I'm going to have this at 0.2. So now the shadows are a bit sharp, but you won't see. So I'm going to change the sun intensity. No, I don't have to change the sun elevation. It's what I want to change. So now I'm going to just play with this, keep scrolling it to like come to like this point. Is the right elevation for now. So I'm going to also play with the sun rotation and see. I'm going to write 180. So now you see the sun is facing like this angle and you have this little bit of highlight. For the ozone, I'm going to move this forward. So we have a little bit of cool atmospheric feel. So let's say 1.5. And then I'm coming back to the sun elevation, just play around with it. Like this. And then for the dust, I'm going to decrease it to, let's say, 0.1. Also the air, I'm going to reduce it to 0.1. So now you see we are having a bit of a blue atmospheric feel. Let's see if I can play with this. This is too bluish. I think at 1.5 was all right. So now I'm also going to just keep playing with the sun elevation to somewhere like this. Yeah, then also the sun rotation seems quite good. Let's see. Yeah, this. So also reduce it. Just going to keep, you can keep playing with this till you get the feel that you want. I'm not quite satisfied with what I have right now. Let's try one and see. So I might play around with these settings in order not to waste your time. I might play around with it off camera and try various things and see what happens. So however, when you are done, this is like the basic steps for your animation. I forgot to do one more thing. I forgot to animate the camera, so I'm going to bring this up. So select the camera. So let's see where this animation stops. So at frame 130, that's where the animation ends, right? So I'm going to select this camera and then move it backwards a bit. Let's see what we have. Move the camera backwards a bit, like, I don't know, this point. So now on this frame, I'm going to click on I, just on the location. I'm going to click on location, and then I'm going to come to frame 150. On frame 150, I'm going to move the camera forward closer to my products, somewhere like this, and I'm going to move it a little bit upwards, take it closer, downwards. At this frame, I'm just going to click on I location. So my animation stops at frame 150, 130. So I'm just going to click on 130 here. You can see even the camera goes longer than the frames. So let us play this. So now the object drops. This is a bit slow. Let me go to this view. So now the object drops. And then see the grass begins to grow. All right. So this is what we have. So now, as the grass grows, you can see that it grows on also on the product, like the product is standing on the grass. This could not be an issue for you, but if you want to maybe add more realism to it, or maybe a style, you can have the grass not grow at where the product is standing. So, and for that you have to use the weight painting. So you come to weight paint, and then you come here, you reduce the weight. If then you select the part where you don't want the grass to grow, you just select, you can also increase the radius a bit, and then come here and then select, sorry, just clean it where you don't want the grass to grow. Why does it feel like it's not working? So just keep doing this. Let's see what's going to happen if I do this. Let me hide this product. Where's the product? All right. So let me hide this product. It's blocking my view. Where is it? Yeah, product. It's blocking my view. So I will come here. Also on the rock, on the object, on the rock, I'm going to come here and, sorry, here and off this, and then go to the weight paint. Yeah, you've okay. So let me paint everything back. So red means that where there's red, it means that there's going to be grass on the surface. And then if I reduce, if I take this all the way down, let's reduce the radius. And then where it's blue, it means no grass. So I'm going to have this blue, and then I'll go to the object, have my emitter, then I scroll to is it okay? So I'll scroll to field weight, and then here I will select, sorry, not field weight, where is it? On the vertex group, sorry, on the vertex group, I'll select density, and then select the new group that I've added. So you see now there's a space for our product to land on. Oh, didn't get it right, but yeah, you get the idea, right? So if you want to make it right, if you can come here, just clean up this space, create a space for our product. make sure that the grass are not touching where our product is standing. All right, so now you have this as object. And if you're to keep this tutorial short, not as long as more than 1 hour, I don't want to bore you guys. I'm not going to be doing the lighting here as much. I think the initiator light is enough for you. If you are pro lighting, you can add more light to your scene, play around with the lights till you get a perfect lighting. But this is it. This is my process of achieving this type of animation. The things that I have to add, the things that I remove. And if you are satisfied with the animation, just render it. And yeah, thank you for watching my video. Please do not forget to subscribe and also leave a like. I'm planning on future maybe creating a Patreon where you can have my project files. If it's something you want to see, please do let me know. All right, catch you in my next video.